We got 3 weeks to get this Bronco done before we go to Bronco Safari, and this thing still isn't even driving yet. So we gotta make this thing driving this weekend, or I don't think we're gonna make it. Now, last weekend, we ripped out the junk M5OD transmission out of this Bronco, and we put in our ZF5 that we just got done refreshing 2 weeks ago. And we ran into a little bit of issues with the transmission already. So I walk into the garage after having this thing kind of sitting in here with the ZF5 for a minute, and I notice we got a big old puddle on the ground, right underneath the transmission. As you can see, I tried to start catching some of the leaks because of how big this puddle is, but that's a lot of ATF coming from the ZF5. We're actually dripping from what's called the PTO cover. We're gonna drain it, take this PTO cover off, let it dry out, and try and re-gasket it. Oh my God, why am I doing this on the floor? Oh yeah. All right, I got the cover back on, cleaned up the surface quite a bit. There was a lot of grime on that thing. I did not clean that enough the first time. But nonetheless, it's back on there. Hopefully it works. We're gonna let it sit for a little bit before we put some fluid in it. The next issue we have with this ZF5 swap is my twin sticks. Now, if you guys haven't watched the video, a few months ago when I was doing the NP205 swap on this Bronco, I bought a custom cable-driven twin stick kit from my buddy John at JB Custom Fabrication. So I got these custom twin sticks here that the cables hook up underneath on the bottom. I put them right here on the shifter plate just for ease of access and ease of serviceability. But if we go underneath the truck, you can see that this whole plate is not sitting all the way down, and it's actually sitting right on top of the transmission there. So unfortunately this location isn't gonna work, so I'm gonna have to think of another solution. But to make things a lot easier on finding a new mounting location, we need to gut the interior, get these seats out, get the center console out. Since I've done this so many times, we're just gonna snap this. All right, that's much better. Now we can see what we're working with. And as you can clearly see, this thing's not even close to fitting. All right, so we've been trying to figure out this layout. Cole showed up, he's helping me today. Hopefully that's not right in the way of the door. And kind of looked at a whole bunch of different options, and I think our best option is going to be mount it here with a little bit of clearancing to make it fit a little bit better, and then just put this cover over top of it. Right now I want this to tuck in the corner more, so we need to square this corner up so this piece can get tucked as far back as possible, and then we'll see how much clearance we have around this transmission.
A few moments later.
It's been a minute since we picked up the camera. Here's where we're at. We decided on putting the twin sticks over here in this corner because it's just gonna be just straight up the simplest way to do it. Last you saw, we notched this corner on the left side to put it here on the left side, right? But it's not gonna quite work out like this, like we wanted to, because of underneath. So if you look right here underneath, you can notice that the shifter for the transfer case is sitting right here, right in the way of the shifter for the cables. The cables are gonna crisscross way too much right up here in this area where the two links need to hook up to. So that was not an option. Now we're moving it over on this side. As you can see, I had to cut a bunch of the heat shielding out, and I need to be very cautious of the cable routing because the drive shaft is now in the way. But now that we have the location finally set in place, let's drill some holes. Okay, we just got our riv nuts installed to mount the shifter, and I went ahead and I also added riv nuts on the shifter itself, so that way it's easier to install the boot once we get it up through the carpet. As you can see, I don't have one here because I ran out of riv nuts, and it's midnight and I'm not gonna be able to get any anywhere. So, just one more little test fit. Looks like I gotta do some more trimming because now I have these big bulky riv nuts on the back side of this. So I need to cut a little bit more out. I do have a little bit of concerns about this setup because last time I had this underneath, and it was sitting underneath this plate. It gave it a bunch of support because we were having a lot of pulling force with leverage. So like it gave it a lot of support and rigidity, and you kind of need that with the MP205 because it's a tough T case. So hopefully we don't run into too many issues where we can't get this shift because I'm flexing too hard. As you can see, it kind of moves a little bit, but honestly it's pretty solid. So that is where she's gonna go. Now we gotta get the carpet back down and get this interior back together. I'm pretty beat for the night, however. I need a shower, I need to start this video editing, and the night is not young anymore. So, let's fast forward to tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Alrighty, we are back. Let's get the carpet put back in. Put this carpet back. I got to address this issue with the passenger seat, and that is, we're missing a nut insert on this front bolt. So, we don't have the full strength we want out of the passenger seat, which isn't ideal. So let me show you what I came up with as a solution to fix this. Now for the factory, the nuts are pressed. They're actually weld nuts. They're pressed into the sheet metal and then welded onto the sheet metal. I'm gonna try and basically recreate that. I found the nut from the hardware store and a big old fender washer that actually fit just nicely in there. I put these two in the vise and pressed them together, made them into one. Now I'm going to kind of weld up the outside of this a little bit. And then we're gonna go put this underneath and weld it up to the bottom of the frame and have a factory nut again. Damn it, just melted that. Fuck. Forgot to fill the threads full of grease first. I completely messed that one up. I melted the threads. I was supposed to pack the threads with grease so I don't get any splatter, and it keeps it cool so it doesn't melt it. Yeah, I only got one bolt though, and one washer, so now I gotta go to the hardware store and get more.
3 hours later.
Alright, finally back from the store. I got another fender washer and another nut. I got two of them this time, so in case I mess up again, I got one more shot of this. There we go. Pressed in. Now this time I'm gonna be kind of light on the welds and only try and do a few tacks here and there. I also got a second bolt, and I'm gonna take this bolt with a little bit of grease on here, just to thread this in so we don't damage the threads, and I'm hoping the grease keep the threads kind of cool so they don't get too hot. Okay, while I was waiting for this nut to cool down, I decided to make a little bit of progress on the interior. Let's check it out. Looking real good. I was able to get the cover cut and get the old hole blocked off. So this is good to go now. I also filled up the transmission before putting this all back together, so that should be good. Hopefully that doesn't leak. And then I vacuumed everything up and got everything kind of tidy. So now we just need to get the seat in position, put all three bolts in it. I'll put the bolt in and the washer in, tighten it down, let it be where it wants to be, and then I will weld it to the truck. Alrighty. This is what we got set up here. I actually had to notch the washer just a little bit to make it fit next to this frame member, but I'm not gonna go crazy with the welds on here because the washer's distributing the weight. I just want to weld it on so it doesn't spin when I want to take it off. Alright, now I'm gonna get the interior back together and we can finally get this truck on the lift. Okay, the interior is finally all back together. Oh, it looks super good in here. Top in. The twin sticks don't really look all that out of place, to be honest. Wasn't that bad of a move, so that should work out good. ZF5 boot and shifter all in, super nice. God, I love the clickiness of the ZF. Before I put all the interior back in, I decided to put the new clutch master cylinder in. The clutch slave cylinder that I put into the transmission, the one with the clip style line connection, is really hard to find a clutch line for and a master cylinder for. I had to buy a master cylinder clutch line slave cylinder combo from O'Reilly's for like 200 bucks. but I can find the other style lines everywhere. So if I were you, get the quick disconnect style. Everything up top is done. We need to get this thing on the lift and do everything underneath.
Meanwhile. Eventually.
Why the fuck does the button always stick right when it's about to touch the goddamn roof?
I don't know.
I hate that shit. Alrighty. Cable shifters are back in. Alright. Now I just got to bolt up the starter, hook up the clutch line. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Are they all this style? Wow, I just dropped $200 for fucking no reason today then. That sucks.
What?
The clutch lines are all the same style, if it's a clip or not. Okay, so I just found out that the universal clutch line is compatible with the clip style. I did not need to buy that $200 master and slave cylinder combo kit. Yeah, it all works. Even the line I bought from Rock Auto I don't need. I'm returning both of that so I can get like 220 bucks back, buy a $50 master cylinder, and go that route. But that means we're not bleeding the clutch tonight. We're just going to put the drive shafts on, bolt everything up that is remaining, and then tomorrow we'll get this clutch in, bleed it, and drive the truck.
12 seconds later.
Okay, so I was starting to bolt some things back together. I was hooking the starter up, and I ripped out the threads on the transmission. I just decided it's time to call it for the night on this. We'll just have to start again tomorrow. Yeah, get my ass kicked, but we got 2 more weeks until Bronco Safari, so I can't put it off. So yeah, let's fast forward to tomorrow. All right, first things first, return the master cylinder kit, get just a master cylinder, and then get everything I need to fix the starter bolts, and we should be good after that.
More moments later.
All right, we're back from all of our adventures. We got everything we need. Let's check it out. I got just a master cylinder from O'Reilly's, and I got a helicoil kit for the starter bolts on the transmission. I wasn't gonna do a helicoil because these shits are usually like almost $100, but AutoZone's got it down. This was like 30 bucks, so not too bad. I should be able to repair it pretty easily. This is the way to repair aluminum threads, is you tap a bigger hole, put this threaded insert in, then your threads onto some steel coils. This is actually a stronger way of doing it too. First things first, we're going to hook up the new clutch master cylinder. Okay, we got the pin. We got that little pin installed. So this is now a one piece. What I learned from buying that super big kit is that kit was a pre-bled system. And the cool thing about this internal slave setup is this is a little check valve right here. It pushes in and releases the fluid out. So I'm going to try and fill this up with fluid, probably put it in the vise here, let this hose drip down, smack it a bunch, so we don't have to deal with trying to bleed it a whole bunch when it's hooked up. Hopefully that helps. Let's see what happens. I gotta get the nuts installed on the other side of the firewall, hook up the push rod, and then after that we can put the truck up and do everything else underneath. Did I get it? I did. Perfect. I can't believe it was that simple this whole time. Okay, clutch line done. Now we gotta work on the starter situation. As you can see, threads on that are donezo. Threads up here look pretty good though. So we'll probably leave that. We're just gonna get that helicoiled. All right, we just drilled out and re-tapped our hole, so now we can install our threaded insert. Starter's hooked up, nice and tight, no slipping on the threads. That worked perfectly. So now I'm gonna quickly fill up the transfer case so I don't forget to do that. We gotta throw the drive shafts on and we can drive the thing. Sweet, let's do it.
One eternity later.
Drive shafts are installed. The T-case is topped off with fluid. We can get this thing down and drive this thing out of the garage. Let's do it. Well, I thought we were ready to drive the Bronco out of here, but I forgot. We still gotta bleed the clutch. So, not quite there, but I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn bad! Alrighty, we got the clutch bled. It's good to go. Let's try and drive this thing out of the garage now. Let's see, how dead is she? Atta girl! First time she started since 5 Mile, which was like 2 months ago. She fired right up. All right, let's see. Reverse. Oh, that's a touchy clutch. I might need more bled. I'll still drive it around though. I can feel like how low reverse is. Or actually, you know what? I might be in low still. Hold up. Let's find out. My transfer case has to be in low right now. Yeah, I'm in low for sure. All right, we got everything taken care of. Got it back into high gear. I actually ended up disconnecting the cables from the shifter kit and just pounding it into high and then connecting the cable back up. All right, we got the big wheels on. We just aired up the tires because they were still low from 5 Mile. Let's go drive this thing. See if fifth works. Yeah, fifth works. She don't like fifth right now. Still geared pretty high, but that's just because of the truck in 37s. 37s on the 337s. So this thing's smooth. Second gear doesn't grind like all the other ZF5s I own. Clutch pedal's still soft, but other than that, this thing is good. Glad there's no bearing noise, there's no nothing like that. There's not even any shifting noise, like no synchro grinding or anything. This is awesome. Oh yeah, that's nice. I wish my truck did that. Yeah, can I get a carne asada fries burrito and 2 crisp bean burritos? And that'll be it. Thank you. Alrighty, y'all. We're getting some celebratory rancheritos. Making sure the Bronco don't die on us in the drive-thru. And we're gonna call it. We're gonna call it here because the weekend's pretty much over. This thing kicked my ass this weekend. Took about all my time, and I still gotta finish editing this video and do all my other stuff that I usually do on the weekends. So I'll daily drive the Bronco to work this week, make sure there's not any other weird issues with it. And then next week we're gonna keep adding and improving this stuff so we can have a good time at Utah Bronco Safari. So with that being said, thank you all for watching, and we'll see y'all next week. Peace.